Okay, we just need to stay calm, we need to stay cool, we need to act like we've been here before, okay? I know it was a big win, but it was only the first one of the season, there's still 81 games to go. We need to temper expectations, okay? Not every game is gonna be like this, we're not gonna play Steve Mason every night, we just need to chill. Right? Screw that! Plan the parade! Hi! Leafs Nation, stand witness frogs and locusts! Full biblical! Austin Matthews is a Leaf! Why do I watch hockey stressfully? Mostly. Are you in? Full biblical! Don't say I didn't warn you. Hello and welcome to the 11th season of LFR, Leafs Fan Reaction. And we kicked the second decade, the second decade off with a bang. Leafs win 7-2 over the Winnipeg Jets, who did not even exist when I started making these videos, and in this game did not exist behind their own blue line. This was a perfect season opening game, from a fan's perspective, not from the Leafs, because the Leafs had fewer goals than penalties in this game, which is usually a pretty bad thing. But when it comes to the first game of the season, which is essentially just the preseason, except jacked up on adrenaline and counts, all you want to do is come out with the win, and the Leafs did. Did I mention that the Leafs won? Lots of goals, so we'll just jump right into the game, but I got lots more I want to talk about, lots more I want to try out this year, so let's go. Here we are, opening night, the puck drops, and the Leafs look like fart. Taking more penalties than I can even keep up with, like friggin' I Love Lucy. Not to mention the beginning of Tim Peel Fashion Police, and you knew it was coming. Before the game, you see the officials talking to Leo Komarov. That's not good. Leo Komarov is programmed that if your name is not Mike Babcock, he's not gonna listen to you. Leo, shut up. Leo. Niet. Hey, Leo. Da, Kitos, languages. Well, they told him, please get your useless visor down. And I gotta think this won't happen again. It might happen again, but I gotta think this won't happen again because Babcock was already talking about this in the preseason. Basically saying, okay, Leo, wear it or don't, but you know, you just had a kid in the summer, like, protect your eyes. And Komarov's just standing there like, got it. But this is a perfect example of the ref involving themselves in the game, but also not being wrong. It's one thing if you don't know what a slashing call is going to be from ref to ref. It's another thing if the ref straight up tells you, look, put your thing down. And then you don't put your thing down. Komarov is sitting on the bench, his thing is up, Tim Peel is waiting for it, he gets on the ice, there's a penalty. Look, on most nights Tim Peel is annoying, and it got annoying when he was telling Eric Fair and Connor Brown, you know, hike up your jersey, but again, he's not technically wrong. And I kind of talked about this before the game at the Puck Docs event at Rec Room. This is when the refs set their standard. You were probably thinking about it, you probably talked about it amongst your friends. Oh, they're calling all these penalties in the preseason, but they're going to be more lenient when the regular season comes. First game of the season comes, and nope! First game of the season, can't slash the hands. I'm going to kick you out of the face-off circle. Untuck your jersey, put your visor down. There's no surprises for the rest of the season. You know what to expect. And you know what makes it even better? The Jets didn't score! Komarov, who took a penalty, played 5 minutes and 50 seconds on the PK. Zach Hyman, nearly 7 minutes on the PK. Connor Brown and Eric Fair, 7.5 minutes each. Nikita Zaitsev, 11 minutes. Ron Hainsey, 12 minutes and 3 seconds. Welcome to the team, I guess. And 7 goals aside, those were lovely. The Leafs PK going 8 for 8 is the reason they won this game. Late in the period, the Leafs get a power play, and all Jets fans, I know that feeling. You've already had 3 or 4 power play opportunities by this point. You haven't capitalized on any of them. The other team goes in the power play. You know that puck is going to the back of your net. Sure enough, JVR gets a couple whacks at it. He's stopped by Steve Mason. Kadri rebound Mason nowhere near it. 1-0 Leafs! You know, if I was still a little kid, which I mean, look around this room, maybe I still am, Paul Maurice would be one of my favorite coaches. Because when I was a kid, I loved the coaches whose lips you could easily read. Simmer down with the colorful language, Crayola mouth. Can I just say I love that Nazem Kadri's a Leaf? Because 09, they were bidding on him. Now he's young money, got it written on him. When Drake is not talking about his emotions or how anal he is about text messaging, his lyrics actually have a lot to do with the Leafs. Steve, get on with it. You're right, because we got 6 more Leafs goals left. Alright, you're right. The Leafs are lucky to have the lead. You're right. Bozak wins the puck to JVR and he scores! JVR, aren't you glad he's on your team? Tyler Bozak leads the NHL in scoring with a goal and an assist less than 18 minutes into the NHL season, and the Leafs are up 2-0 by some miracle. Less than a minute later, Matthews to Gardner. Gardner with some crazy ninja pass, and William Nylander is so disrespectful. Nylander had enough time to shoot that he could have started his own video blog. Hey bros, bet the snipe on Steve Mason. Why'd they even sign that guy? Smash that like button. Willie Nylander, 3-lander, and the Leafs lead 3-0 after 1. Now the bad news is it should have been 5-0 Jets. The good news is it was 3-0 Leafs. The bad news is last year it was 4-0 Leafs and the Jets Jets won. The good news is the NHL introduced Money Puck this year, so if the Leafs get the next goal, they immediately skip to 5-0. What's that? What do you mean it's not true? What do you mean video games aren't real life? In the first 9 years of these videos, I yelled about the Leafs and how they had a bad process. During the Carlisle years, they did win a bunch of games, but the process was bad. This team was not built to win. But against all odds, they won a lot of games. But I was still mad because the process wasn't good. But now that the team is much better and the process looks much better too, I realize how important winning is. Because I did not care how much the Jets outshot the Leafs or how many penalties the Leafs took. That's not true. I cared a little bit. But the thing I cared most about was that the Leafs were winning 3-0. What a great opening period.
You know the Leafs are just gonna choke, right?
Okay there, Satan. Second period comes. Alright, you think the Leafs are gonna choke? That's what you think? Haha, yuck it up, the Leafs are gonna choke? Marner to Matthews to Marlowe, which, by the way, is a line that the Leafs are able to ice, scores! Patrick Marlowe, with the hockey hands of a 21-year-old and the video game hockey hands of a 12-year-old, makes it 4-0 with his first goal as a Leaf. Question of the game, what did Steve Mason ever do to Patrick Marlowe? That man has a family! That man has hopes and dreams, and that fan has his jock! Do you think a Jets fan would be happy about that? Like, well, my team lost, but I did get this neat souvenir. And we head into second intermission, the third period, with the Jets down 4-0. And the Leafs up 4-0. There isn't a lead the Leafs could have that you don't have a joke for. They were up 3-0 on the Devils last year. Lost. 4-1. Fairly obvious. 4-0 on the Jets last year. Nothing is safe. Well, 5-0 could work. Nope, they were up 5-0 on the Blues years ago and lost that game too. I guess 6-0's gonna have to do. Marlowe and Marner are like, gotcha, fam. But before we get to that, in the second intermission, Elliot Friedman goes, I would leave Steve Mason in net. It's his first game in the city. You gotta give him a chance to bounce back. And I'm like, you're right. Steve Mason's not new to this. He's earned this. He's a veteran. He won the Calder back in the day. This guy has signed a 2-year deal in Winnipeg to right the ship, and darn it, he's gonna do it. 36 seconds in, Kadri to Marlowe, second of the game, 5-0 Leafs. Maurice is like, never mind. Marlowe might be 37, but he's new to me, damn it. Second of the game, Leafs are up 5-0. I think I might have already mentioned that, but it's worth saying again. Here, say it with me, okay? Leafs are up 5-0. Did you like that? You didn't like that? No, try it again. The Leafs are up 5-0. The Leafs are up 5-0. You didn't like that? No? Here, it's okay. I got something for you, okay? Marner, power play, snipe! First game of the season's not even done yet, and we're already in don't even celebrate the goal territory. After Scheifele scores, yeah, shut up, we'll talk about it. Connor Carrick puts it on. Matthews is video game. He's not fair. That's cruel. That's terrible. Why would you even do that? You're terrible, and I love you, and you're ours! And the Leafs are up 7-1. Matthews scores in the opener. Hey, it must be the opener. And lost in that secondary assist, who cares? Andreas Borgman with his first career NHL point, and deserved. What a great game by him. Matthew Perreault scores shortly after, but guess what? The Jets are in don't even celebrate territory too. That is the way the game would end. Leafs win their opening game of the season, 7-2. It was such a shame that Zaitsev and Hainsey were on the ice for one of those goals against because they had stellar games. To give you an idea of the workload these two had to deal with, Ron Hainsey played 12 minutes and 3 seconds of short-handed ice in this game. JVR played 12 minutes and 8 seconds total. Bozak didn't even get to 12 minutes. Matt Martin played almost 5 fewer minutes total than Hainsey did on the PK. And speaking of Martin, the fourth line was on the ice for one of those goals too, and that's unfortunate because I thought Brown and Fair looked excellent on the PK, and as a fourth line, including Martin in that too, I thought they looked good. And Carrick and Borgman were on the ice for one of those too. Connor Carrick had an excellent game after a pretty flat preseason. And Andreas Borgman wasn't that noticeable, which is nice, except for that time he tried to kill Mark Scheifele. And can we talk about how we freak out about dumb stuff? Why isn't Marlowe gonna play with Matthews? He is. We look at the 5-on-5 line rushes and go, oh, it's so stupid. But it's Babcock. Marlowe's gonna play on the power play with Matthews sometimes. 5-on-5, after a penalty kill, he can put out a line of Marlowe, Matthews, and Nylander. Don't like that? Oh, okay. Well, how about Marlowe, Matthews, Marner? Who is not excited for the Marmamar line? Freddie Anderson was listed as a question mark by some, partly because of the way he started last season. No more question mark. Anderson sensational on the PK, 5-on-5 breakaways, he had it. And you know what makes me feel better about all the penalties that the Leafs took? A, it's the first game of the season. B, a bunch of them were pretty stupid. Like, the too many men on the ice wasn't just like, oh, he had his skate on the ice. It was they just had 6 players playing. There's Leo Komarov being the world's worst welder, and Connor Brown, who I think had a penalty in the first game last season, maybe even in the first 2 games, had 10 penalty minutes all of last year took a penalty in this one. Even though the Leafs won the game, they scored 7 goals, everybody's happy, Babcock might not be. Because the team had an obvious flaw. They have something obvious they can work on, and I think as a coach, Babcock likes that. Coaches like to keep busy. And you can't play like that all the time. Ron Hainsey's not even gonna make it to Canadian Thanksgiving, let alone the American one. Marleau freshes his daisy. You know, for an old guy, I feel like I had a pretty good game. Hainsey just dying like, yeah, I know. Meat. What's that, Ron? You want meat? I hate you. It might not have been perfect, but it's a win. It's 2 points. Buds all day. Before I give my final thoughts, there was a little something I wanted to try this season, a little idea I came up with called If I Were You. Because if you're a Jets fan, first of all, congrats on even making it this far into the video, but second of all, like, I want to look at it from your perspective. So, Winnipeg Jets fans, if I were you, I wouldn't sweat this loss too much at all. Because just like the Leafs have something to work on, taking fewer penalties, the Jets have something to work on. Their power play. Which, heading into the season, and if you just look at the thing on paper, looks like it's going to be one of the most disgusting, one of the most filthy, one of the most talented, dirty power plays in the entire league. Perreault, Wheeler, Ehlers, Scheifele, Laine, that's gross! Right-handed D-depth for days. While the Leafs PK was good and deserves credit, and Freddie deserves credit too, the Jets power play just couldn't quite get it going. Their passes were going, but there were a number of occasions where they could have pulled the trigger and didn't. And like, guys you would never expect it from. Laine? The Jets had 37 shots. Laine had 2 of them. There were a few times on the power play where I'm like, oh, he didn't even shoot. Even the really good opportunity he had that Freddie ended up stopping, he didn't get all his weight on that shot. So offensively, the Jets are better than they showed. Now, Steve Mason. Goaltending has been an issue for you guys, so I know you may be a little jumpy. But you know what? That's how the Leafs felt after game 1 last season. That's how the Leafs felt after the first 5 or 10 games last season, and it worked out okay. Anderson goes and gets hurt in the preseason, starts with a new team, stumbles out of the gate, it doesn't look good, and the fan base is shaky. Steve Mason, coming off a nightmare year, signs in Winnipeg, starts the home opener, which might have been a mistake, and he looks shaky, and the fan base is shaky. You're a little gun shy. You're used to getting burned. Believe me, I get it. I'm not saying it will turn around, but I am saying that if it's anything like the Anderson situation last year, it could turn around. I heard Jets fans booing at the end of last night, and I don't blame you. I mean, they lost by 5 goals, and you probably paid a lot of money for the ticket. But don't boo Steve Mason. Just got here. He's locked in for 2 years. Make it work. The other option is you stink. You need to cheer for it to work with this guy, otherwise you're kind of screwed. At least you got Connor Hellebuck, who is still young and full of potential to fall back on. Last year it was like, well, we always have Jonas Enroth to fall back. You know what? Start Freddie again. So, if I were you, I'd definitely be grumpy this morning, but I would give Steve Mason a chance. Now, Leaf fans, let's talk. You know what? No. Hockey world, let's talk. Oh, it's just one game. Typical Leaf fans playing the parade. We are! And you should be too. Otherwise, what are you playing for? You play to win the game. It was a viral clip, very popular, and he kind of had a point. What, do you think you're going to win a cup with that defense? Not necessarily, but I do think that defense might win a cup with that offense. Long ago, name drop, I interviewed Steven Stamkos, who made his bed and he can lay in it. But he was talking about Guy Boucher, who was his coach in Tampa and is now the head coach of the Ottawa Senators. Guy Boucher told Steven Stamkos to work on his strengths 80% of the time. That way, 20% of the time, he was still working on his weaknesses, but the other 80% of the time, he was working on what made him special. So did the Leafs need Patrick Marleau on the Leafs? I don't know. But you know what the Leafs competition didn't need? Patrick Marleau on the Leafs. Hyman, Matthews, Nylander. What's your answer? Marleau, Kadri, Komarov. What's your answer? Javier Bozak Marner. That's 3. What's your answer? Connor Brown's a 20 goal scorer. Matt Martin banging and crashing, and Eric Fair giving the big, dirty, mangled, broken finger to Father Time, and all that stuff we said about his trade just being a cap dump. What is your answer? I'll tell you what your answer is, okay? I'll tell you what the answer of all 30, because there's 30 now, all 30 other NHL teams is. They don't have one. Forget one of the best. The Leafs might have the best offense in the NHL. Marleau joins the ranks of Matthews, Nylander, Marner. What did I say last year? Frogs and Lucas! You stop Matthews, no rest. You have to stop Marner, no rest. You have to stop Nylander, no rest. You have to stop Marleau, no rest. You have to stop JVR, no rest. There is nowhere to hide. The loafs, the laughs, the punchline is punching back. Are you ready for 81 more games of this? Because I am. So ready. Born ready. And I will, and Leafs Nation will, and the Leafs will have plenty left in the tank for at least 16 more games after that. Saturday night, the Leafs play their home opener against the New York Rangers. Tailgate party at Maple Leaf Square. Are you ready? Because I'm ready, and I will be there. And if you're there too, great. And if you can't be there in spirit. We can feed off your energy. Great! Because my friends, this party is just getting started. So that is it for the first LFR video of season 11. Check out the playlist because I just made one because it's that wonderful time of the year. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Brand new Panago Pizza Steve Dangle podcast is up. We interviewed Ron frickin' McLean. And are you ready to punch back? Alright, now that lunatic's done screaming his head off, let's slow the pace down a little bit. Hi, I'm Nazem Kadri Bob Ross, and welcome back for another season of Drawing Penalties. First, you got your opponent's hockey stick, alright? That's not quite to scale, but that's about how it looks. And what you're gonna want to do, that's you, you're smiling because you play for the Leafs, okay? What you're gonna want to do is wrap yourself around it like a vine. Once you have the stick in a figure 4 leg lock, what are you gonna do? That's right, you're gonna fall down. Your opponent is going to be mad, and they're going to be mad in the penalty box, LOL. And actually, we have time for one more. Okay, so once again, there's you. Again, you're smiling because you're sick. Play for a sick team, the Leafs. There you go. You got a stick. There you are. Little skates there. Okay. And now here is Dustin Byfuglien. Now, what's the thing about Byfuglien, boys and girls? That's right. He's the size of an Escalade. All you have to do, go right into that Escalade, fall down, and all of a sudden he goes in the parking garage, penalty box. Thanks very much for watching. I'm Nazem Kadri Bob Ross, and you don't have to like me, but you do have to deal with me.